A dark sphere streaks across the night sky off San Diego before plunging straight into the ocean. Over Afghanistan and Pakistan, a massive disk moves through the clouds, and off Yemen, a glowing orb takes a missile head-on and somehow keeps flying. These are disturbing UFO encounters caught on camera. A filmmaker named Jeremy Corbell, who's known for digging into UFO stories, recently shared new footage that he says came from the US Air Force. The footage was filmed on November 23, 2020, somewhere between Afghanistan and Pakistan. It shows a huge disc-shaped object moving through the clouds. Corbell said, quote, "This is the first time in history that military filmed footage of a disc-shaped UAP, designated as such by the military, has been captured on camera and released to the public." He then went on to say the craft moved with what looked like, quote, "intelligent control." He says it's somewhere between 200 and 400 meters wide, though no one knows for sure. The strange part is that it doesn't give off any heat at all. Corbell explained, "This was captured on a thermal sensor. It should have detected heat if any traditional propulsion was present, but there's nothing." He and journalist George Knapp said they spent over 2 years confirming the footage with people inside US government UFO programs. Knapp said, "We know it's real. It was not supposed to be made public, but it should have been." When reporters asked the Pentagon about it, they said, quote, "We have nothing to offer on that." Back in 2019, the crew of the USS Omaha spotted something weird off the coast of San Diego one night. A dark round object flying over the water. The ship's infrared camera caught it, and the footage later leaked, again thanks to Jeremy Corbell. The Pentagon backed it up, confirming the video was taken by Navy personnel. In the clip, you can hear the sailors reacting while they track it on screen. One of them says it took off, it's booking it, as the sphere shoots across the radar. Then it just drops, hovers for a moment, and starts dropping straight down toward the ocean. A few seconds later, someone yells, "It splashed," as it disappears under the waves. Corbell said the video was recorded on July 15, 2019, during a stretch of nights when the Navy kept spotting strange stuff in the air, at least 14 solid objects, each a couple meters wide, moving between 74 and 254 kilometers an hour. After this one vanished underwater, they sent a sub to check it out, but nothing was recovered. Whatever it was, this is still one of the clearest, most confirmed UFO clips the Pentagon's ever admitted is real. A lot of people have been talking about this one lately. This footage comes from a US Reaper drone off the coast of Yemen. It shows a glowing orb in the sky, and when a missile hits it, it just keeps going, like it bounced off. The footage dated October 30th, 2024 was shown at a House oversight hearing by Missouri Congressman Eric Burleson. He said it came from a whistleblower. When slowed down, the missile clearly makes contact with the orb, but instead of exploding it, it just continues along its path. Lou Elizondo, a former Pentagon intelligence officer who used to study unidentified aerial phenomena, said, "We've never seen a Hellfire missile hit a target and bounce off. When a Hellfire makes a hit on something solid, there's usually not much left of whatever it is it's hitting, but in the video it seems like the missile is either redirected or glances off the object." End quote. The clip doesn't show the second drone that actually launched the missile, and the military hasn't said what the mission was. There's a good chance you've seen this video before. It's often referred to as the best UFO footage ever. Pilot Jorge A. Arteaga was flying a small plane over Colombia when something strange caught his eye. At first it looked like a dark speck in the distance, just hanging in the sky, but as his plane got closer, the object started moving. He pulled out his phone and started recording while keeping the plane steady to catch the thing flying straight toward them at an incredible speed. It's not on screen long, but we do get a brief glimpse of it up close. It's silver colored and it's kind of shaped like a saucer. But just as suddenly as it appears, it shoots out of view. Ortega later said the object had been stationary at first, just floating between Medellin and Santa Fe before flying past them. As for what the hell this thing was, there's been no official statement. On May 18th, a webcam on the coast of Cozumel near Cancun caught a weird object flying past a docked cruise ship. It goes by incredibly fast. I mean, blink and you'll miss it, but pausing on the object, it's dark and almost kind of saucer-shaped. It looks weird. Also looks to have lights on the tail end, and that moves smoothly through the air without wobbling or slowing down. People who saw the clip weren't sure what to make of it. Some have said it could be an insect or a bird maybe, but I'm not sure if those things fit, and it doesn't look like any normal aircraft or drone, but what do you all think of this one? On February 15th, 2023, Navy Senior Chief Petty Officer Alexandra Wiggins was on the USS Jackson when he saw something strange on radar. A tic-tac-shaped object coming out of the ocean. He went out the bridge, waiting to see it with his own eyes, and ran through all the usual possibilities, but nothing fit. It was rising into the air high enough to where I'm like, alright, that's definitely A, too fast, and B, not something I've seen before, Wiggins said. Then he noticed 3 more objects moving in sync about 8 nautical miles away. He reported it to a tactical officer and checked them on the radar. On the radar video, you could see the tic-tacs moving up and down, then meeting up midair. First, a lot of people just write it off as planes, but Wiggins showed them the difference by tracking an actual aircraft right afterward. You see the wings perfectly, the tail wings, the shape of the nose. It was kind of like checkmate, he said. And even after decades in the Navy, Wiggins said he's never seen anything like this. Let's take things back a bit, all the way to the morning of August 15th, 1950. Nick Mariana, who ran the Great Falls Electrics baseball team, was checking out the empty stadium with his secretary, Virginia Ronick, when he noticed these 2 bright silvery objects flying over Great Falls, spinning as they moved. Mariana estimated they were about 50 feet wide and 150 feet apart, zooming along at 200 to 400 miles per hour. He grabbed his 16mm movie camera and filmed the UFOs for 16 seconds. And the next day, the Great Falls Tribune ran a story about what Mariana had filmed, and soon the clip was being shown around town, picked up by other newspapers. The U.S. Air Force got involved after a reporter contacted Wright-Patterson Air Force Base. Captain John Binnelston interviewed Mariana, and both he and Roddick mentioned seeing 2 jet fighters fly over the stadium shortly after the UFOs appeared. Binnelston sent the film to the base to be analyzed. The Air Force concluded the objects were just reflections from 2 jets flying nearby, but Mariana said the first 35 frames, the ones showing the discs spinning, were missing. And other folks who'd seen the original film agreed, saying the missing frames clearly showed rotating metallic discs. The Air Force officials denied this though, saying only 1 damaged frame had been removed. Seems there might have been some shady stuff going on behind the scenes here, but even with the missing frames, this footage is still known as one of the earliest pieces of UFO evidence captured on camera. On March 16th, 2024, astronomer Dr. Sebastian Felix Volkmer was looking at the moon through his C11 telescope when he noticed something zipping past it. He shared the footage online, but he made it clear he's not some UFO fanatic. At first, he thought it might be a meteor, but then he ruled that out, since there was no white tail, and the International Meteor Organization had no records of anything passing by at the time. Dr. Volkmer said, "I actually assume that it was at an altitude of 100 to 200 kilometers, i.e. in the transition to the so-called low Earth orbit. That's really far away. Definitely not in the sky like an ordinary plane, but not so far it was deep in space," end quote. He also said he checked carefully to make sure it wasn't a satellite. I didn't know this, but it turns out there are a lot of UFO sightings in Wales of all places. I don't know what aliens' fascination is with whales, but reports date all the way back to the 1940s. The UFO in question here was spotted in September of 2016 by a police helicopter at around 9 p.m. It was only visible on the chopper's thermal camera and seemed to be moving at a speed of 106 miles per hour over the Bristol Channel. The full video of the footage was released by a former cop named Gary Hasteline, who's been urging the UK government to come forward and reveal what they know about UFOs. What's also interesting about this one is that the object was moving against the wind. So it was being operated one way or another. It's not like it was some object caught in a wind current or something. Police also stated years after the event that it could have possibly been a drone, but they were struggling to keep up with it, so it would have had to have been a pretty fast one. There are drones that reach that 100-mile-per-hour speed, but they're pretty high-end. Your common drone clocks in at around 45 to 70 miles per hour. On April 26, 2013, a U.S. Customs and Border Protection plane recorded some really strange footage off the coast of Aguadilla, Puerto Rico. The crew was following a small glowing object with a high-tech infrared camera as it flew over Rafael Hernandez Airport and out toward the ocean. At first, the object moves incredibly fast. Then it seems to split into two identical objects. Either that, or it was just two objects traveling very close together at first. And then they seem to drop straight into the ocean. And not like a rock hitting water with a splash, they just vanish underwater without slowing down. After a bit, they pop back out of the water and continue moving before disappearing entirely. All that said, I've been your host, James. I'll catch you, yes, you specifically, next time.